To be talking about positive climate and teacher sensitivity. So to begin, I want you to think what your favorite memory was from your own early learning experience. My favorite memory is sitting in circle time on my very own carpet square, listening and singing along to music played on the auto harp. This is a feeling memory. I enjoyed being in my class, around my peers, and around my teacher. These feelings come from what the teachers did to increase a positive climate and how they responded sensitively to our needs. Positive climate and teacher sensitivity are two dimensions within the class domain of emotional support that are about how students feel in their classroom environment. Today we're going to be talking about two dimensions of the class observation tool, positive climate and teacher sensitivity within the domain of emotional support. So I want you to think about the favorite memory that you just reflected on. It probably had to do with how you felt in your classroom, the support that you received from adults. These feelings and support are reflected in the dimensions of positive climate and teacher sensitivity and what they look like in a pre-K classroom. We will also discuss specific strategies to foster a positive classroom climate and how to enhance teacher sensitivity. And finally, you'll have a chance to plan ways to be stronger in these dimensions in the quiz at the end of the session. Positive climate and teacher sensitivity align with the Every Child Ready guiding principles, specifically in the components of nurturing and intentional. Nurturing early learning experiences contribute to students' positive feelings about school, teachers, and their community. The dimensions of positive climate and teacher sensitivity in the class domain of emotional support focuses on the ways in which teachers nurture students' positive feelings and emotionally connect with students during instructional and non-instructional activities. Additionally, intentional focuses on how teachers dedicate time to planning, practice, and reflection. Thinking about the classroom environment that you are fostering requires a deep reflection and intentionality to adjust it. This is an ongoing process. It's important to reflect regularly to ensure you are providing students with the emotional support that they need. Let's develop a shared understanding of what positive climate looks like. The four indicators are communication, respect, relationships, and positive effect. In the class manual, positive climate is described as reflects the emotional connection between the student and teachers and among students, the warmth, respect, and enjoyment communicated by verbal and nonverbal interactions. What nonverbal interactions do you see in this picture that may indicate a positive climate? What might be a verbal interaction that would convey a positive climate? In this picture, I see proximity, which I know is a challenge these days with COVID, but there still are ways to indicate warmth and closeness, right? Positive climate makes us feel good, and that's important in and of itself. But research from Kirby and Chavez in 2013 show that positive climate is the single best predictor for students' academic outcomes. Having a positive climate directly influences learning. We're going to review a video of positive climate. As we watch, think about what you're seeing that aligns to the indicators we just discussed.
Oh wow, match it up. Does it look like the one you're trying to make? Let me see.
What do you think would happen if we use a little bit of orange?
It sure does, Jason. And it even has a little bit. Wow. Told you could do it. What are you making, Kaylee? Show me which one.
You said you couldn't do it.
I know he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Whoa, that has a lot of stars connected, Kaylee. Let's count how many stars are there. One. Whoa! 9 stars. Let's see if that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we need more. Add another star. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How many more do we need? What do we have to all together now? 16? Let's see. Count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
14?
15, 16.
Wow! For you. Good job, Kaylee. Good job, Chicken. Chicken, it looks like you have a fort. You're building a fort?
All right, so we just saw some really good indicators of positive climate. We saw proximity, encouragement, joy. So I want you to just think of evidence of a positive climate that you have seen in classrooms that you have been in. It could be your own classroom, or it could be other classrooms. Just take a moment. Now, let's develop a shared understanding of what teacher sensitivity looks like. The class manual states teacher sensitivity as it encompasses the teacher's awareness of and responsivity to students' academic and emotional needs. High levels of sensitivity facilitate students' ability to actively explore and learn because the teacher consistently provides comfort, reassurance, and encouragement. Teacher sensitivity is about how we respond to a situation. So it's important to keep our cool so that children feel comfort in our consistency as teachers and feel like a valued person in the classroom regardless of their behavior. Now we're going to review a video example of teacher sensitivity.
In this clip, we will see evidence of a positive classroom climate and an example of how a teacher demonstrates a high degree of awareness and sensitivity to the emotional needs of an individual student.
Each of you are going to get a set of these, and you have to put it from first to second to third to fourth. So what happened first, second, third, and fourth? All right, if you are ready, put your finger on your nose. Oh, Peter's ready. Ariana, you look ready. Emma, you look ready. Here you go.
Noticing that one of her students is sad toward the end of small groups, the teacher intentionally dismisses her last so that she can provide individualized comfort and support for completing the exit ticket.
Please what? Please share what? Thank you. Emma, come here, Emma. Come here, Emma. Emma, you don't need to be sad. You know why? You know why? Because who's going to come pick you up at the end of the day? Who's going to come?
In this interaction with the student, the teacher also demonstrates positive communication through her respectful, warm tone and appropriate physical affection.
You don't need to be sad. You don't need to be sad today, okay? Can I get a hug? Can I get a hug? Okay. Come here, Emma. Look at this. Look, they're fighting. Is that a good choice?
Here, another teacher provided additional support by taking her by the hand to help her transition into another activity. This shows that all teachers in the classroom are aware of this child's needs. Creating a positive climate and providing individualized comfort, reassurance, and assistance when needed is especially important in the preschool and pre-K classrooms where the...
All right, so as we just saw, teacher awareness and responsivity can look a couple different ways. It can be a teacher responding right away to how the student is feeling, and it can also be thinking about how we can utilize other adults in the classroom. So now I want you to think, how do you know that students are comfortable in your classroom? Are you checking? All right. Now, let's align strategies to the appropriate indicator within the class dimensions of positive climate and teacher sensitivity to enhance understanding of how to foster a warm classroom environment. The big goal is for teachers to notice what is happening with students, respond, and if there is a conflict, resolve it with neutral language. Is the teacher showing up in a frame of mind where they can be present, aware, and able to respond? This is where intentionality is important. We will name some strategies that teachers can use and align them to the indicator dimension. All right, so here are some strategies that support teacher sensitivity. Listen and think if these align to awareness, Responsiveness addresses problems or student comfort. The first set of strategies are about anticipating problems and planning appropriately. You can do this by prepping materials ahead of time, making sure you have materials for each child, and including choices for children. You might lay out markers on the floor to help children know where to stand. Equity sticks can support teachers in calling on children and make it logical and equitable for all children so they can each have a turn throughout the day or during a component. Scaffolding and planning for scaffolding up and down will help when students have misunderstandings or need an extra push. Even if a teacher is working with a small group of students, they are constantly monitoring and watching, like a lighthouse over the ocean. They see the rest of the class and are ready to shine a light on students that need support. Which one do you think it is? If you were thinking awareness, you are correct. All right, the next indicator looks like a warm, calm voice. Teachers should listen and ask questions. If a student needs it, a sensitive teacher might give a back rub, or a hug, or air high five. Another important part of this is validating feelings. For example, I see you're feeling sad and it's okay to feel sad. What can make you feel better? Or maybe, I see you're mad and it's okay to be mad, but how can we handle it in an appropriate way? The teacher will provide choices. All right, what do we think? Which one is it? Awareness, responsiveness, addresses problems, or student comfort? If you guessed responsiveness, you are correct. All right, next, the next indicator focuses on remaining neutral. It's important to use neutral problem statements with a neutral voice. For example, I see that there is only one blue car and both of you want to play with this. This must be frustrating. Let's talk about how we can solve this problem. Notice how the teacher uses neutral problem statements. They aren't saying, oh, Johnny took your car. That language is not neutral and might only heighten the other student's frustration with Johnny. Another strategy of this dimension is for teachers to reinforce ideas of share, trade, and wait to solve problems. You can click on each of these links in the presentation below. These links can be really helpful in the classroom, offering students a choice to resolve their problems. For example, they can write a letter, high five, that kind of thing, and practicing stop, think, and act before problems so it can be a reference for students in times of frustration. All right, if you were thinking that this is addresses problems, you are correct. So I do want you to take a moment to think about these resources. These can be really helpful for supporting students with behavior. And finally, this last indicator, if you are good at elimination, you know it's student comfort, is about how the teacher can be a secure base for students. Offering help when students request and also fostering independence can be challenging and requires constant adjustment. The other day, my toddler spilled some ice on the floor, and I was about to pick it up when my mom reminded me that he was very capable of picking it up himself. These little moments are small, but they can enhance a child's sense of independence, which can help make them feel more comfortable and able to do things on their own. All right, let's talk about some strategies to foster a positive classroom climate and enhance teacher sensitivity. A class dimension study of pre-K students found that positive classroom climate is the best predictor for students' learning and academic outcomes. Jennings and Greenberg found teachers who initiate high-quality positive interactions support students in being better equipped to cope with school tasks. A teacher who provides positive climate makes children feel safe, and the children view the teacher as supportive. Students are more likely to follow a positive teacher's lead, pursue goals that are important to the teacher, which include wanting to learn. So the first component is critical to a strong positive climate, and that is relationships. Think of someone that you enjoy talking with. They probably are very good at listening. They probably get excited when you get excited. They are probably present when they are speaking with you. Be that good listener to your students. Check in on their emotions, ask how they're feeling. ECR has some great cards that you can use, these ECR feeling cards, to help students identify their emotions. The next indicator, positive effect, is about how it feels between students and teachers. If the student is happy, are the teachers happy? Is the teacher tuned into students? Self-care and mindfulness is important to maintain to ensure that you are coming across authentically to your students. Remember why you love working with young children and put that at the center of your focus and how to show up with children. Positive communication is exactly how it sounds. It's encouragement, saying, keep going, good job. The nonverbals, high fives, hugs, and a pat on the back can go far in contributing to positive communication. Another important mindset is to expect the best. Assume the best. Assume the students are doing their best and hold them to appropriate behavior expectations. This next indicator, research from Jennings and Greenberg found that a teacher's self-awareness and self-management influence their ability to cope with emotional demands of teaching and likewise set the tone of respectful learning in the classroom. For this indicator, teachers are warm towards students and everyone has manners, both teachers and students. If you need a student to do something, try to include a please. Thank yous are abundant in classrooms that have high positive climate. Teachers should encourage cooperation and students should be willing to work together. This is a team environment and the classroom is a unit that functions like a team, all working towards the same goal of learning. So now, let's take a moment to reflect and think. What indicators seem to come easy or come naturally? And what indicators do you think you'll need to work on? On the next slide, you're going to have a chance to answer a few short answer questions. I want you to think of the strategies that we just covered, and I want you to take some time to think and plan about how you will implement one of these strategies in your classroom, or if you're already doing it, how will you do it better? Before we wrap up and you move on to the quiz, I want to leave you with this quote. I'll take a moment for you to read it quietly. All right, I hope you all have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next week in our session.